has told me that planes could be taking off from a third runway at the airport by 2035. Thomas Woldbye was speaking from British Steel in Scunthorpe as he announced a multi-billion-pound plan at expanding the capacity at the airport. He told me that the plans would help boost growth with billions of pounds going into supply chains across the UK. And I began by asking him what today's announcement was all about.
Today is all about really starting the expansion and announcing starting the expansion of Heathrow. So all the work that we're going to do in the next couple of years, which has already been agreed, but also the work and all the investments going into the next 5 to 10 years to increase capacity within the current perimeter, that will prepare us for a third runway in the coming future.
And you're doing this in conjunction with British Steel?
We're doing this in conjunction with British Steel because we think it is really important that everybody understands that this is a project for all of the UK. We need backing from all of the UK to make this project a success, and all of the UK will benefit from the success of this project.
Isn't that the argument, though, from critics, that this is a bit of a stunt in the sense that you've gone to Scunthorpe today because you want to feel that this is a UK project, when ultimately it is called London Heathrow? This is an airport primarily for London and for the south.
I don't agree with that. This is truly a project for all of the UK. During the project, we'll be investing billions of pounds. Those billions of pounds will flow into supply chains all over the UK, also here in Scunthorpe, where we're already spending £158 million this year in the supply chain here. And that is what's happening all over the UK, in Ireland, in Wales. So, no, I don't agree with that. Billions of pounds will be flowing into all of the UK.
And the third runway is now go. You are fully behind this third runway finally getting underway.
We are fully behind it, and we will be presenting our proposal for how a third runway could be built and what it takes to government when summer comes.
And how important has that government support been, Rachel Reeves' support?
That support is crucial because there are building blocks that need to be built together with government that we as Heathrow cannot, so to speak, build on our own. There are areas around regulation, around airspace modernization, which are not areas that we control alone. We need to work together with government to make that happen, also with our airlines.
Talking about the government, today you're talking about private investments. For a third runway, will taxpayers' money be needed to make that happen?
There are no taxpayers' money needed to deliver what is agreed with government under the National Policy Statement. These are all private investments.
But I mean, for the third runway, no taxpayer money for the third runway?
Yes. No taxpayer money for the third runway.
On what timescale are we looking at here, Thomas? You know, some people are saying this is not going to happen until maybe 2040.
Our ambition, together with government, is to deliver a permit by the end of this Parliament and to deliver the runway by the end of the next Parliament. That is ambitious, and it does require cooperation from government, and we are prepared to deliver just that.
So you're suggesting that planes could be taking off by 2034?
2035, something like that, yes.
OK. What would you say to critics of the runway on environmental grounds? You know, this is a country that's committed to net zero. You know what? A third runway...
And we are also...
Well, but a third runway is against that, isn't it? It's not environmentally friendly, let's be honest about it.
I think that we need to balance economic growth and prosperity with climate conditions. And there are climate conditions. The third runway will not be delivered unless it lives up to the agreement made with government under the ANPS. In itself, of course, there will be planes flying, but we also have to realize that economic growth cannot be blocked. We need to deliver both for the economy and for the climate.
So your message to environmentalists is, ultimately, at the moment, growth is more important?
I would not say growth is more important. I think both is equally important, and we can deliver for growth. Heathrow is the airport where we have by far the highest uptake of sustainable aviation fuels already, for example. So we are on the right path, and planes will not be flying for the next 10 years, while net zero advancements will be made in the next 10 years.
Just a couple of more questions, if I can, Thomas. First of all, just on the expense of Heathrow, many airlines, many passengers, many campaigners feel that the charges at Heathrow are simply too high for not a good service.
Well, I think to that I will say, first of all, we are rated as one of the best airports in the world, so I think generally there is a good service at Heathrow. We want to make it better, and a third runway is exactly one of the ways to do that. One of the challenges we have today is that capacity is constrained, and hence we need to expand in order to create more capacity, give better conditions for our airlines, give better punctuality, and ultimately be able to give better cost, because right now we're just investing in an area that doesn't increase the number of passengers. We want to increase the number of passengers, which is what our competitors outside of the UK are doing.
And just finally, on the UK itself and growth that you talked about, I mean, we haven't got growth in the UK at the moment. Are you confident that the UK is a good place for business, that this government is genuine about that?
I'm confident that the travel market will continue to grow globally, and I'm confident that if Heathrow and the UK wants to keep our market share of that market, we need to expand Heathrow, otherwise we're going to fall behind.
And why do you say that a third runway is going to lead to growth? Because ultimately, we're talking about more than a decade here. We don't know what things are going to be like in a decade's time, what travel habits might be in a decade. How can you guarantee that it's going to bring growth? And how much growth?
Well, giving guarantees are always difficult in a changing world, but what we can see is that people want to travel more. There are billions of people literally in the world that have not traveled, who wants to travel. And there is a market out there that will continue to grow, and we need the infrastructure in order to cater for that market, and that is what we are building. I am not concerned really about the demand. I am much more concerned about having the capacity to actually fulfill that demand.